Oh, yeah, we are back in the kitchen. And, you know, here we are. We're doing a show about picnics and barbecues. So I figured there's a guy sends in a recipe, and his name is BBQ Stu. You got to have him on the show. Stu, it's terrific to have you on the show.
Nice to see you.
He's a local guy, but he makes barbecue sauce. So you do a lot of barbecuing, obviously.
Lots of barbecue sauce.
You've been in national contests for barbecue.
Yes, right now we have 14 national awards and we have about 12 regional awards. We go for anywhere from Louisiana, Kansas City, Memphis, anywhere we need to go. We like to go to places like Buffalo, Canada. We're working on Canada right now.
Okay.
We have a place up there we just picked up, so we're going to be going there.
Yeah, expanding. You know, actually in our cookbook, we have a bunch of recipes for if you want to make your own barbecue sauce. And I know a lot of people like to do that. That's part of the dabbling in the kitchen. But if you don't, there are lots of great barbecue sauces that you can just get, and then you find one that has a flavor profile that you particularly like. Now, actually, you've included a couple of sauce recipes in the cookbook where you talk about Carolina style and
exactly.
And you know and a different kind of like I don't know what you call the darker style.
Exactly. In Carolina, they're known especially for their vinegar styles. And what we want to do is we wanted to come back and we tried our style. We wanted to make it Pittsburgh style, and we changed the Carolina style a little bit, and it's actually doing very well.
Yeah.
We're doing very well.
But so you can make your own, or you can use yours. And this is a recipe for my favorite part of any barbecue or picnic, and that is baked beans. We have a ton of recipes for baked beans. Yours is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And so let's get started. Let's show them how to make. What do you call these? These are
tailgater baked beans.
Tailgater baked beans. Okay. And of course they have lots of different beans in them, and we put them together. So you tell me what we got here. We'll start doing it.
What we start with usually is either kidney or pinto beans.
You want to put them in as you?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we just start putting them in.
What you wouldn't do is definitely drain these.
Yeah.
One thing you'll notice is with this recipe, these beans will be a little bit more watery than some of the beans you're used to, and the reason for that is these are made that they can stay in either a steam table or on your picnic table or whatever a lot longer without getting real thick and gummed up.
Yeah.
And along with those, we'll have the butter beans or the Great Northerns.
See, I love butter beans. I think they're nice and meaty. They have a better texture than some beans. And I love the kidney beans that you have in there too.
Okay, and we also ask that you go with your favorite baked bean. What we tell a lot of people to do is just use the cheapest, because by the time you get ready to mix your own flavors into it.
You're already flavoring it yourself. So,
exactly.
Right. I'll get this one. This one's really full. These are some chili beans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they already have a flavored sauce in them.
Exactly.
I'll put that over there.
And the colors of these, when they start coming together, it's marvelous.
Mm-hmm.
We can probably start mixing some of this up.
All right. You want to mix that.
Okay. And after you start mixing these, that's when we really start having fun. When we start adding a lot of the liquids to it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the liquids we will start with would be the molasses. We'll add the molasses in, which will actually give it a very deep, earthy flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually works out very well.
And sweetness.
Exactly.
Right?
And then also a great barbecue sauce.
I'm going to give that a shake. And you measure exactly, right, Stu?
Yeah, we do the official measuring. There you go. Basically, you want to get about 1.5 cups in that. These are 20-ounce bottles, and that is about enough.
I think that's perfect. I think you hit it right on the head.
So we get that, mix that in, let the sweetness start coming together, and then we will also add some brown sugar.
That's really going to make them nice and sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So you get that sweet, tangy.
Exactly. Now my forte is basically the ribs, chicken, brisket, things like that.
Yeah.
But when we started doing a lot of the sides, everybody started really going crazy over them. One thing with the sides, what we do, and a lot of our cooking, even with the, when we're actually even cooking with other products as far as protein, we use a lot of fruits in our cooking. And one thing with the fruits, it does help the flavors enhance, comes out a lot better, and that was some apples, actually.
Yeah, this is, you had a can of apple pie filling, which
Exactly.
I've never thought of putting into baked beans. And the recipe says that you could also use, if you wanted to, some crushed pineapple. Same kind of effect, right?
Now, I use a lot of the crushed pineapple on things like heavy protein items because the acid in the pineapple actually helps work as a tenderizer. It helps actually tenderize almost anything you can put it on, and it'll enhance the flavor also. And it works very good with our barbecue sauces.
Yeah.
So.
Now, I've seen Stu around town, and whenever he's never alone. He's always got his crew.
Yeah, I've been very blessed with the crew of guys that I have with me. They
It's Chris, right?
Chris. There's we have very unusual names. We have a guy named Flat. We have a guy named Tweet. We have a guy named Paul, and then we have a Pastor Lloyd.
Pastor Lloyd is part of your crew. Okay.
He keeps us in order. So, and we do very well. A lot of people say that we're nothing but a bunch of comedians, but they like to come out and they have fun when we're there. No, if we want to just add some onion and green pepper, and that would probably be about it.
Okay. I'm going to chop up some onion. You want it relatively fine, Stu?
Yeah, that's fine. And one thing with this can actually be made vegetarian, or you can add meat. You can do it either way. Of course, I'm sure you can tell by looking at meat, I had to do the meat thing. Which is actually one of my lines I tell everybody, you never ever trust a skinny cook.
Is half enough, or you want the whole? You want the whole
half
thing?
should be good for this.
Okay. Don't want to overdo it. So there's that. And we're going to do green pepper. Or I guess you could use any
pepper.
color pepper, but we happen to have a nice green one here. And the color contrast would be good because the other stuff is brown and red and stuff like that. So when did you get the barbecue bug?
Well, I've actually been doing the actual cooking of the barbecue I would probably say, going close to about 23 years right now. I had gotten sick of about 8 years ago, and that sort of put a damper on things as far as doing the actual cooking and the competitions down in Kansas and Memphis. But now what we found out is a lot of those big competitions have categories for sauces. That's where we take our sauces to. So we've been doing the sauces for about, I would probably say approximately 8 years right now.
Wow.
And we've actually been doing very good in the Pittsburgh area with these sauces. So, so that's why we like to stay around here.
You guys are fun to watch when you're working. I know that. I think a lot of people might have a dream of making their own sauce and being in those competitions. I've seen some on other cooking channels and whatnot, and they all seem to have a good sense of humor and a good attitude, and sure, they want to win the competition, but they also look like they're having an awful lot of fun out there.
Well, the main thing is just to have fun. When it comes to the point where you're doing this and it becomes work, then you know what? You might want to look for something else.
Yeah. Okay.
But we love doing this. Every Saturday we're at a different store doing an in-store demo. So.
Okay. So now we're all cleaned off here, and you got that all worked together.
And
pretty
that's
well mixed.
looking pretty good.
And you don't cut up the apples at all. You just leave them just like that? Okay.
You leave them just like that. From the heat, they'll break down a little bit. Some of them will fall apart. But when somebody dips one out and they get an apple on their plate,
they like it.
A little bit of a smile on their face.
Not a bad thing.
That's it.
Okay. So and then let's see. I mean, you talk about you cook them sometimes right in your smoker.
Yeah, we open up the smoker. We'll throw the whole pan in and let the smoke actually cure with it. And the flavors that come together with that smoke is just incredible. In fact, I think the first time you tried it was
yeah, you had it out of the smoker. Okay. Well, this smells good enough to just stick your face in it now.
You put a little dab behind your ears, you know.
Oh, man.
Works as a nice cologne.
I have to tell you, Stu, we made a batch of this last night, so we would have some here. It was all that we had to do to keep from eating it right then and there. This would go into I guess we put it in about a 350-degree
Yes.
oven,
Mm-hmm.
and when it comes out, oh yeah, we're gonna do you crumble the bacon on the top?
Yeah, you can crumble the bacon right on top of that.
Not a bad idea. Because bacon makes it better.
A lot of people like to put the actual bacon on top of their beans.
Mm-hmm.
I usually like to crumble it, cook it off first, and then crumble it. You don't get as much oil in there, and even though the oil is flavor, there's enough flavor coming through this bacon that's just going to enhance that. And it keeps it crispy rather than having it like soggy. So.
All right, so there's the... I can always tell when a dish is really going to click because the crew is going... Behind the cameras, I can hear their deep breathing. All right. I got to,
Looking very good right now.
This is, and it's a little warm. You could keep this warm, in a carrier, or you could, you can actually serve this room temperature. It's not bad. But this is nice and warm. We had this reheating in the oven. It is so caramelized on the top. The sauce has formed. It's really, look at that.
The colors actually open up very well also.
Yeah. I want a piece of apple in mine. Different kinds of beans. Stu, you got to taste these and see if we got them right. It was your recipe, but I got to take a piece of that apple.
Did it perfect. And the scary thing is, on Memorial Day, my phone rang off the hook. There were so many people calling me, how do you make those beans? How do you make those beans?
Yeah.
And I was telling everybody, I mean, I didn't mind because when we're talking food, I love that part. So.
Yeah. Stu, we have a, you don't have to call Stu personally. We have included this recipe and lots of Stu's terrific barbecue and sides recipes in our newest cookbook. And Stu, once again, you're a great friend and a wonderful cook. And you can get his recipes and over 150 terrific barbecues and picnic recipes in our new cookbook.